Quarter four is hands down one of the most profitable times of the year to sell self-published books on Amazon KDP. Whether it's no content or low content or medium content books, this is your time to shine. And today we're going to be diving into one of the hottest quarter four niches, and that's the Halloween niche. Now, this niche is super profitable, especially right now with lots of people looking to buy these holiday themed books. So if you're ready to start making money online by self-publishing from home, whether you're on your laptop or your computer, then you're in the right place. Now, if this is your first time here, my name is Jeff, and this channel is all about becoming self-sufficient when it comes to making money online. And right now we're talking about low and medium content publishing on Amazon KDP. So if this sounds interesting to you, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, let's get started. Now, let's get real. One of the biggest challenges for beginners is figuring out what to sell, if it'll work, and where to start. Well, today you're in luck because I've done all the research for you. I'm going to share with you 5 Halloween KDP niches that all have low competition and high demand, so you can jump straight into it and start making sales this quarter 4 season. Let's begin. Now, when I was trying to come up with Halloween niche ideas, as I do with all my niche videos, I often use Publisher Rocket. And as you can see, I did a search for Halloween activity book just to try to see what types of books come up here that I can do research on. And if you didn't know, with Publisher Rocket, you could click these magnifying glass buttons right here, these orange buttons, and it's going to give you all of this information right here, which is actually very helpful when I try to come up with these niche ideas for you guys. So we see a lot of Halloween activity books here. We also have coloring books right here. So if I click right here, we can see the competitive score. It's saying it has low competition, but it's saying that it has not enough searches at less than 100. It also gives me the estimated average monthly earnings of the top books that rank for this keyword, as well as the average price, the number of competitors, and the average pages for the books in this niche. So this tool always comes in handy for me when I'm doing my niche research. And this is where I came up with the 5 niches for this video. So niche number 1 is the Halloween coloring book. Now, you might see something different on your screen because I have this purple bar right here as well as right here. And this is a free extension that I use called Titans Quick View. It comes from Self-Publishing Titans. So if you don't know about this, it helps you with your niche research as well as your keyword research. And you can go ahead and go to the Chrome Web Store and download the 2 extensions that they provide because they are free. And it's going to help you with all of your research, and you'll be able to follow along with this video. Now, when I'm doing my niche research, the first thing that I always look at is going to be the search results. And right here, it's saying almost 7,000 search results. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that's going to be way too high, because for me, what I look for are 3 specific things. Number 1, I'm looking for search results that have about 1,000 or less, because this is going to tell me the competition is not so high. Number 2, I'm looking for 3 or more KDP books that all have a BSR of 300,000 or below, because this is going to tell me that the books are already selling in this niche. So that means that there is some type of demand. And number 3, I'm looking for a niche score that's provided by the plugin that I'm using that has a score of 50 and higher. So right away, we can see the results here are way too high, meaning that there is way too much competition for this specific niche and this specific keyword right here. But don't worry, I got your back. I found you a niche that you can use that is still part of the Halloween coloring book niche. But let's go ahead and go through the steps here so you know exactly what I do so that I know that a niche is potentially profitable. So going down this first page, I'm going to look for 3 or more KDP books that have a BSR of 300,000 or below. So let's start with the first book right here. We can see it says independently published, which means it's a KDP book and has a bestsellers rank of 2,000. So that's book number 1. The next book is not independently published, meaning it's not a KDP book. So we easily just move on. This one, same story, move on. This one, move on. This one right here is independently published, which means it's a KDP book with a bestsellers rank of 7,000. That's book number 2. And then I also always skip sponsored listings right here because this is where people are paying to get onto the first page of Amazon. So let's move on to the next one. This one right here is ranked at 778. That's book number 3. My step 2 is already completed. It's already been satisfied, but let's go ahead and look at some more of these books. This is a little bit higher at 433,000. This one's at 11,000, 12,000, 26,000. So we see there's a lot of demand here for this books because there's a lot of books that are selling well. And with a niche score of 70, that's well above the 50 that I'm looking for. This satisfies 2 out of my 3 steps, which just tells me that I have to work on the keyword here to either niche down or find a sub niche and get these search results a little bit lower. And that's exactly what I've done. So I found Halloween coloring book for kids, bold and easy. Right away, we can see the niche score of 58. So that's above the 50 that I'm looking for, and total results of 410. So that's below the 1,000 or so that I'm looking for. So that's looking good. Now let's quickly go through the first page here. Here's one book ranking in at 5,000, book number 2 at 7,000, book number 3 at 111,000. So right away, my step 2 has already been satisfied. And I'm sure we're going to see more books here that are ranking well: 121,000, 18,000, 128,000, 322,000. But what I want you to realize is that these books, we're going to look at one in a second, but these books are just starting to sell right now. So these BSRs are going to continue to improve all the way through October and into early November. And so let's go ahead and look at one of these books. So here's a book right here, ranking in at 5,488. And it was just released this year, as you can see, 2024. So there is still time to get your books out and selling before Halloween season. It has a 4.0 out of 5 rating, 10 ratings overall, priced at $5.99. And if we look at this graph, this is where I want to focus on. This is for the past 30 days. As you can see up in August right here, the rankings were a little bit higher. And as we moved closer to October, you can see the rankings start to drop, which is a very good sign coming into this month and October. So if we go for the past 90 days, you can see even more of what I'm talking about. In the summer months, it's not really selling that well. But once we hit July, and especially right now, you can see it's starting to sell very, very well. So you should probably get onto it and start making some books if you want to start making some sales, because Halloween season is almost upon us, but there is still time to put out books. Now, this is the type of book this is. Very simple, bold, and easy designs, which you could honestly get from Creative Fabrica if you looked up clip arts that you could use, not the interior pages, but if you looked up clip arts, you could probably find these type of images and create a book just like this. And to give you an example of how well this book is selling, if we go ahead and take this BSR into a sales calculator to see how much it's estimated to be making, we can see it makes about 41 sales per day, which is about 1,230 sales per month. Add that royalty calculator in here, and that's about $59 a day and $1,776 a month. And just going to increase as Halloween season creeps up upon us. Now, the next niche we have is the Halloween cut and paste workbook. Right away, we can see total results 1,493. So that's a little bit higher than 1,000, but it's still good to go, because my rule is if I see a 1 right here, it's fine. Even if it's 1,999, it's still okay with me. We can see the niche score of 53, above the 50 that I'm looking for. So far, so good. And then let's go ahead and look through the first page here to look for 3 KDP books under 300,000 BSR. Here's one right here, independently published, ranking in at 38,000. So that's book number 1. This one is a little bit high at 1 million. This one right here, same story, 1 million. This book right here, 184,000. That's book number 2. This book is a little bit high at 740. This one right here, independently published, ranking it at 132,000. So there's already 3 books right there. And so that satisfies my second step requirement. So this seems to have enough demand to go ahead and try and create a book for this niche. If we take a look at this book right here, it's ranking it at 38,891. And this ranking is just going to improve as we reach Halloween. priced at $7.99. So that's a good price. And we can see right here what I'm talking about. As you can see, all of August is kind of up and down, not selling very well. And then we hit the end of the month and you can see what's happening right here. People are starting to buy. So if we go back 60 days, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And just to prove my point, if we go back 1 year from this date, you can see what happened last year in October. And the BSR of this book was hovering around 5,000, which is very, very good money. And if we do all time, because this book has been out for a while, you can see the pattern here. Around early September, all the way through early November, this book sells very well every single year, and it's going to do the exact same thing this year. Here's the interior of the pages. You basically create this type of interior, and then the customer is able to cut this out and paste it right here to finish the pattern of each of these lines. And so I actually created a video on how to make this type of book. So if you are interested in this niche, go ahead and click somewhere around this video. I'll leave a card up for that tutorial. And we can see this book makes about 8 sales per day right now, which is about 240 sales per month. Add that royalty calculator in. That's about $21 right now per day and $634 per month. But if we go ahead and adjust this BSR to what we saw last year, where it was hovering around 5,000, let's go ahead and see what it would be making, which is $3,490. As you can see, this is what the holiday rush does to these books. And this is exactly what's going to happen to this book and a lot of books that are going to be on sale this Q4 season. Now, the next niche we have is the Halloween word search. And right off the bat, we can see that it only has 705 results, which is below the 1,000 or so that I'm looking for. So this is a very, very good start. We can see that it has a niche score of 76, well above the 50 that I'm looking for. Now it's just about finding 3 or more KDP books that all have a BSR of 300,000 or below. So let's do that really, really quick. Once again, I'm gonna disregard all of these sponsored products right here because this is where people are paying to get to the first page of Amazon. So the very first book that is not sponsored but is a KDP book is this one right here, ranking in at 9,207. Let's look for 2 more. The book right after it is ranking in at 16,000, 1 more book, and this book right here is ranking in at 24,000. So we're already good to go, but I'm interested to see how much more demand is in this niche. We have this book, 256,000, 111,000, 37,000, 168,000, 219,000, 264,000, 217,000, 209,000, 53,000, 275,000. And these rankings are just going to continue to improve as this month goes along, as well as next month. And so we know there's a lot of demand in this niche. So with this book, we can see it has a ranking of 9,111, and it was just published this year. It just started to get ratings in, but it has a 5.0 out of 5, which is very, very good. The price is kind of low at $4.99, which can also attribute to why the ranking is so good right now heading into this Halloween season. If we look at this BSR graph, you can see same story as the previous niches. We can see right here, August, early August up until about August 24th, the sales were not as good as they are now. You can see the rankings really start to drop. If we go back 90 days, you can see what's happening right here, a slow descent into Q4. And so this is going to do really well this Halloween season. And then this is the interior of the book. Very simple, generic Halloween word search. And so the way you make this type of book is really by finding these words, creating the list of words here, and using a word search generator to create this puzzle right here. It's very, very easy to do. So if you want to learn how to do this, I teach you how to use AI as well as a software to be able to create these pretty much instantly. Go ahead and click somewhere around the screen. I'll leave a card for you to watch my tutorial on how to create this type of book so that you can put one up right away. Now, this book is making about 27 sales per day, which is about 810 sales per month. If we add that royalty calculator, that's about $22 a day and $683 a month. But once again, the BSR is just going to continue to improve. So this number right here is going to get bigger. The next niche we have is the Halloween Spot the Difference book. Right off the bat, 1,360 results. So right there at about 1,000 and with a niche score of 52, that's above the 50 that I'm looking for. So everything is looking good so far. So let's start with this first book right here. Independently published, ranking in at 231,000. So that's book number 1. The book right next to it is at 781,000. That's a little bit high. I assume that's going to also go down, but as of right now, that's a little bit high, so I'm going to move on. This one right here, 118,000, so that's book number 2. And then the book right next to it, 181,000, so that's book number 3. And if I scroll down some more here, we're probably going to find some more books that are selling well in this niche, which is going to tell me that there is sufficient demand to go ahead and make a book for this niche. If we check out this book right here, it has a BSR of 118,000 and it was published last year. So I'd be interested to see in the graph in just a few seconds how well it did last year. It's priced at $11.95. That's a very, very good margin, especially because it only has 72 pages. But let's go ahead and look at this graph. And so right now we can see it's still going up and down, pretty stable. So if we go past the 60 days, we can see that there is a slow descent going down, which is very good to see. If we go 6 months, we can see that right here around March and April, it did not sell at all, but then you see it starting to sell, which is the typical pattern for a lot of these Halloween books and a lot of these seasonal books. Now, this doesn't have a look inside feature, so we can't really look inside unless it has A+ content, which it does. Now I can see why the price is a little bit higher. It's because it is in color. So if you're going to publish in color, you're going to have to increase your book's price to be able to keep within a good margin for your royalties. But as you can see, here's the interior of this book. And the one thing that I like that they do is they insert this module right here where it showcases some of their other books so that people can see them and hopefully look at them and hopefully buy them, so that this publisher is actually going to see an increase in sales for their other books because they're doing this. And so if you want to learn how to create A+ content, which I 100% recommend for everyone out there, I'll go ahead and leave a card somewhere on the screen right now for you to learn exactly how to do this. It's actually pretty easy and it's free, and you really should be utilizing it with all your books. We can see with this book's ranking, which is 118,000, that this book makes about 3 sales per day, about 90 sales per month. Add that royalty calculator, it's still not bad, $11 a day, $335 a month, and it's only going to continue to increase as the days go by into Halloween season. Now, the last niche we have for today is the Halloween joke book. Right away, we can see total results, 698, very, very good. This is below the 1,000 that I'm looking for. So it's telling me there's not a lot of competition. So this is a niche for you to get into if you're able to create this type of book. Niche score 58, above the 50 that I'm looking for. Very, very good. Now let's go ahead and look at some of these books. I'm gonna skip the sponsored products. This book right here, ranking in at 36,000, book number 1. This book, 62,000, book number 2. This book right here, 352,000. So just above the 300,000 that I'm looking for. But as we've been talking about, these rankings are going to continue to get better. And so this might be a book that I include in my step 2, but let's go ahead and look at some more of these books. This one's at 136,000, so that's book number 3. And we have some more books here. This one's 247,000, and this one's 172,000. And so I'm seeing a lot of demand in this niche, and it's not even Halloween season yet. Now let's take a look at this book. It has a BSR of 36,000. This one was published 2022. So I'd be interested to see its historical BSR over the years. Priced at $6.95. It has its ratings, it has its reviews. So this is all set for Halloween season this year. And let's go ahead and look at the graph, and same kind of story, same kind of pattern. We can see the sales start to get better, start to pick up around August. It's still a great time to be publishing these books right now. You can start making sales with your books, start gathering reviews and ratings, and it's only going to help you next year when Halloween season comes by again. And so it's never too late if you're interested in a Halloween niche to go ahead and start creating. Now, if we go 90 days, you can really see what's happening here. And then 6 months, same thing. So for the past 6 months, it hasn't sold really, and it's starting to sell now. Now let's go 1 year. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about right here. As you can see around September, actually, let's go all time. You can see that around September, it starts to sell really, really well. October is its best up until early November. And then we have this upward climb right here for the rest of the year until the same time next year. This one actually picked up in August, which is actually very, very nice to see. And it sold up until the same time, early November. And actually this year, the ranking was better on this portion than it was the year before. So as you can see, as you get your ratings and reviews up, your rankings just start to get better and better. And this one might actually even be better than last year's, which it was averaging about 3,000 BSR. Now, this type of book is a very, very simple book. So this one's cut up into sections of jokes. As you can see, ghost jokes, witch jokes, Dracula jokes, and so on and so forth. So these are the ghost jokes. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3 jokes right here. They're very simple jokes. So these are meant for kids. Obviously, this is a kid's book right here. The way that I create these types of books is by using AI, more specifically ChatGPT, to assist me in creating these types of jokes, which actually does very, very well. And so I did create a video on how to create a joke book. So once again, if you're interested in this niche and you want to learn how to do this, click somewhere around this video. I'll leave a card up for you to learn and watch my tutorial on how to exactly do this. So we can see this book makes about 11 sales per day, which is about 330 sales per month. And if we add that royalty calculator in, as of right now, it's performing at about $22 per day and $660 per month. But if we go back at its historical BSR and look at its pattern, so for example, last year it was hovering around 3,000 for pretty much 2 months. So if we put 3,000 here, we can see for 2 months straight, it was making almost $4,000 a month off of one single book. So imagine you have multiple books that are doing well. This is the reason why we love KDP publishing, is because it is very lucrative as long as you learn how to create these books the right way. Now, if you're looking for more niche ideas, go ahead and feel free to browse my channel as I create a lot of KDP niche videos. And as always, if you want more KDP resources, don't forget to check out my Gumroad shop. The link is down in the description below. Well, there you have it. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions, let me know down below. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, as well as follow me on all my socials at JeffSetLife. With that being said, thanks for watching. Bye for now.